The Baby Jesus, a Gospel of Tears, Ostracine, Egypt. The Gospel of James on Jesus' childhood. A biographical gospel of the Lord from the time Joseph took Mary as his wife. July 22nd, 1843. The Lord said to Jakob Lorber, "James, a son of Joseph, has recorded all this. However, with time, it has become so distorted that it cannot be allowed to be included in the scriptures as authentic. I, however, will give you the genuine Gospel of James, but only from the above-mentioned period onwards, from the time Joseph took Mary. For James had included the biography of Mary since her birth, as well as that of Joseph. Cyrenius, at the time of Jesus, is the supreme governor of Rome in all Asia and a part of Africa, as well as in Greece. Great Gospel of John, Volume 3, 26, 4. But the longer Tullia, Cyrenius' wife, carried the little child in her arms, the more she realized her life's mistakes and wept on account of them from time to time. The infant sat up and spoke to Tullia. "My dear Tullia, I am not very pleased with your habit of weeping all the time, even while carrying me in your arms. Be lively and cheerful now, for I take no pleasure in the unnecessary tears of men. Do you perhaps think that your tears will cleanse your heart from all sins before me? Oh look, that is foolish. The tears glide over your cheeks and cloud your eyes, which is even harmful to you. However, the tears do not glide over your heart, and also do not cleanse it, but often makes it closed instead, so that neither good nor evil can enter it. And see, that also brings death to the spirit, which dwells in the heart. For a sad person is always an offended person, and such a being is incapable of receiving anything. I have only put 3 tears in the eyes of men, and these are the tears of joy, the tears of pity, and the tears that are caused by pain. These are the only ones I like to see, but the tears of sorrow, the tears of repentance, and the tears of anger that arise through self-pity are the fruits of one's own ego and are of lesser importance to me. For the tears of sorrow spring from an offended spirit and demand compensation. If this does not come, then such a spirit can easily transform into secret anger and finally into a desire for revenge. The tears of repentance have a similar origin and only appear after the sin, as long as the sin has drawn a beneficent punishment. But then these are not tears because of the sin, but only tears on account of the punishment, and therefore also because of the sin, since the sin was the cause of the punishment. Even these tears do not reform the heart, for men do not avoid sin out of love for me, but only because of the fear of punishment. And look, that is worse than the sin itself. As far as the tears of anger are concerned, it is not worth me saying a word on this subject, for they are spring water from the foundations of hell. These tears do not moisten the eyes, only the tears of repentance do this. And I tell you, keep your eyes dry also from these tears, for you see that I do not take any pleasure in them." Here, Tullia wiped the tears from her eyes and said, "O Lord, how infinitely wise and good you are! Oh, how cheerful and happy I would be if I were not a sinner! But while in Rome, I have worshipped an idol of the people at the emperor's behest, and this deed gnaws at my heart like a worm." And the infant said, "I have already forgiven you this sin, even before you committed it. But you were jealous of Cyrenius' love for me. See, that was a grave sin. However, I have now completely forgiven you, and you are free of sin, because you love me again. So be cheerful and happy." Thereupon Tullia and all the others in Joseph's house were again full of good cheer, and all proceeded to have supper.